Hey everyone, Christina here from A Life Well Documented, and I'm doing some catch up for week 34 in my 2020 project life. I'm trying to crush these old studio Calico kits that I had bought back in 2018. That's a 2016 kit. It's got some cool stuff like those words, the puffy stickers. I've already used a little bit of the kit. Some of it's not going to be very useful, but I'm going to also incorporate maybe some of these Studio Calico print and cut labels. I just rearranged them a little bit to make color schemes that I know would be more useful for me. So let's go ahead and get started. So this week I did the Scrap Smarter experience with Scrap Happy. It was a really cool event. It was like a 3-day weekend, and there was a lot of instructors. There was Tracy Reed and Shamel and Vicky Booten and a bunch of other people. So I would definitely wanted to document that. And then here I just have some miscellaneous photos from the week. So some dinner, some barbecuing that I had done. Of course, Miss Raven. She's a very vocal kitty, so she definitely likes to chat a lot. I'm going to work on that title card up in the corner there and put everything else aside. So I want to incorporate some more of these cards. So I'm just going to flip through and find something that I think is going to be useful. I end up going with that pink card right there. It's going to pull in the pink from the bottom right with the instructor's photos on it. I look through everything else just to see. Some of the cards are pretty versatile. That March card I'll probably put aside and cut down for another layout. But I'm definitely going to go with that pink card. So I'm going to get out my paper trimmer and just cut it in half. What I end up doing is I end up using half of it on the week 34 spread, which is just going to be a one-page spread, and half of it on the week 35 spread, which is going to be on the opposite side of the album. So this will be on the left. 35 will be on the right. I have a lot of difficulty getting those tags out. They were perforated, so I just trim it up a little bit. And then these are some new stamps that I just got. The week stamp is from L Studio, the week stamp is from Citrus Trist. It's called Weekish, and then the 34 is L Studio. It's the Jane. I just used the outline just for some contrast since the weight of the stamp didn't quite match the word week there. I'm going to lay that part of that card down. And this is a great way to try to use up parts of kits. Getting some foam tape on the back of this. I'm just really struggling today with scrapbooking. So I cut out a bunch of me fussing with that foam tape. And then here, as I try to peel off the backing on these, I'm struggling again. My nails are getting in the way. We're just going to peel that off and stick that down. And then I realize that it has a little bit of this like perforation around the edge that I just wanted to trim off. I didn't like those little pieces sticking up from that tag. So I end up doing that on all of the tags I use. And that's just a little bowl I keep at the top of my desk for scraps. All right, so there were these puffy stars, circles that came in the kit. These are from Twine and Ink, and they coordinated with some of the colors in the kit. I thought that purple background was just a little too boring, and adding some of these puffy embellishments is going to help brighten this up a little bit. I loved that purple because it matches part of the purple in the screenshot I got from the Scrap Smarter experience, and I wanted to incorporate that into this spread. Now I've got those puffies down. We're going to put that over on the side and go ahead and get started on my next card. I'm going to work on some of these 3x4s. I just wanted to do some simple embellishment on these. I look to these print and cut labels that I had gotten from Studio Calico, And also, this stamp that I have is from Jillibean Soup. It's called Life Documented, and it just has some fun quotes. So now I'm going to play around with a couple of the tags that were included in the kit because the labels just weren't the right size. So I end up going with this tag that has the silver on the top and bottom, and I'm going to use that documented stamp in the middle there. And basically, I'd been doing a lot of barbecuing. I'd just gotten my first grill last summer and had been practicing a lot with chicken thighs. I heard they were very forgiving because they're little juicier than like chicken breast, which I would normally eat. Got some barbecue sauces from Thrive Marketplace, and sorry about my head sticking down there. Is just a little bit hard. My camera angle was a little bit off today. You might see my head pop in there again. I'm just going to clean that stamp off. I just keep a little spray bottle of water and that little microfiber cloth on the side for when I'm doing this type of stamping. Now, if I'm doing a lot of stamping, like batch cards or something like that, I'll get my stamp chamois out. But for something like this, I'll just use that little cloth. This next photo is from the Hip Kit subscription that I had gotten last summer. I want to say this was their June kit. And I go back to that card because I realized the photo was a little crooked. So I'm just trying to get the photo straight and get that tag straight. And that's good. I pull out this tray I have of embellishments, and I was originally going to use the geotag, but I just didn't like the way it was going to look. So I used my Project Life die set and cut out what would normally be a flag. And then I'm just going to trim the bottom off to make it actually into an arrow. And then I'm going to grab another one of my stamps. All right, so I pull out this old Studio Calico stamp. I believe this was from the Canyonlands Documenter kit. I have a bunch of those old ones. And you notice it jumped. I apologize. My battery on my camera died, so I lost a bunch of footage. But what I did now is I'm working on that bottom card with the scrap royalty, and I just went into InDesign. You could do this in Photoshop or in Word or in, there's so many programs or apps that you can make this type of thing. And I just put a little border so I knew what size these little backing cards were going to be. And then I just printed each of the instructors' names on those backing cards. Obviously not for me because I recognize Tracy Reed Schimmel and Vicki Boutin. But for people who are looking at my scrapbooks down the road, they probably will not recognize these three ladies. So I'm just going to get these three pictures pinned down here. And as I get to Schimmel's, I realized that when I cut her photo out, the spacing was just a little bit off. So I'm going to grab my scissors and just do a little bit of trimming along the edge of the photo to make it fit. So I think I had like a 1/16 of an inch on each side, almost an eighth of an inch on each side that I had to trim off. But now her photo fits, and she can sit right there next to Tracy Reed. And then I'm just measuring Vicky's photo. These were some screen captures that I got from the Scrap Smarter experience. So each of the instructors joined us. They had pre-recorded classes that we would work on, and then they did a live introduction and some question and answer and joined us for some other things. I guess I needed to trim Chamel's photo down just a little bit more. Hopefully this will be good. I think I'm done with that now. Oh no, I realized what I did. I accidentally put Chamel's photo on Vicky Bouton's card. Yeah, sorry ladies. That's what happens when you're just getting over a cold and you're not feeling well and, you know, you haven't scrapbooked for 6 months. You kind of lose your mind a bit. So, but that's okay. I was able to fix it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the bottom of this. Oh, actually, I did that off screen. I measured with my T-square on that card, and I put a couple of dots down where I needed to place each of them. Oh, no, here I go. So I'm going to get my T-square out, and I'm just going to put a couple of dots down just to have a nice line as to where I want each of the photos to kind of show up. And I'm trying to get in the habit of using my T-square more. I bought it, and then for some reason I just never used it a lot. So definitely trying to get in some better habits, keeping things aligned, because obviously when I eyeball them, they're crooked and I have to go back and fix things. So I'm just going to do Chamel first since she's in the middle, and then do Tracy and Vicky around her, and just try to space them out somewhat evenly. And I guess my camera battery died again because I missed doing the title on that card. But I did print some journaling. I go back and I use this craft color card to back my journaling. And again, same thing with the journaling. I just create a outline for where I know I want to cut, and then do the journaling inside. So that way when I cut it out or trim it out, I know it's spaced appropriately for the card. That is week 34. Sorry about that footage I lost, but here is the project. Just going to add a little star on there, but as you can see on that card at the bottom, what I did is I went back and I used a larger of the Studio Calico labels, and then found some little black and gold alpha stickers, and did craft royalty. Because I was totally fangirling the fact that, you know, we had these live instructors. It was just so great. All right, so there's my spread. I've got my title card up on the left. Some of the cards I made in the middle. I love that little white card that Miss Raven's photo on. It's about conversations around the house, and she's a very vocal kitty. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you subscribe to kits, please comment below. Let me know what kits you subscribe to. I always love recommendations. And as always, if you haven't considered, please subscribe to my channel for notifications. See y'all later.